Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. So today we got, yesterday we got the cracked gas tank repair done. So today we're going to move on to the next project. Like I said, new day, new project. So JoJo sent me all these parts for the Tacoma. And if you're wondering what a JoJo is, get yourself on over to the 3rd Gen 4Runners page on Facebook or the 1st Gen Tacoma page. Also on Facebook, of course. So, JoJo's our parts guy. Here's the receipt for the stuff that he sent us from Santee, California. And here's all the parts. You can pause the video and get the part numbers off of here. And the total I paid was almost $300. So these are the OEM ball joints, and maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but these are prone to failure point. And to put this all in perspective, it's like, it's kind of, these trucks are so reliable and they last so many miles. And then after 22 years, you're finally at the point where you're wearing out items, and there's always a possibility that this truck was never intended to have a 22-year service life, and the byproduct of the excellent engineering of the entire vehicle culminates in this being the failure point after all these years. And also, to be fair, people running big suspension lifts and tires and things, all related to the outdoor and camping craze of the last handful of years. So first of all, this is the second time I'm doing this. The first time I ran a set from Rock Auto. And when they came from Rock Auto, the one was unpainted, and the other was painted black with a grease nipple on the backside. These are factory ones. Factory ones don't have grease nipples because they are sealed. And they utilize, I believe, a polyurethane sleeve around the ball or some other thing. Not really requiring lubricant. So these are a service kit. Recall ball joint assembly, according to the top line there, $184.94 from JoJo. So I got those. Also very important, JoJo sent me all the bolts. There's definitely been arguments online about whether these are necessary, what grade they are, what purpose they serve, their hardness, and so forth. Guys have sheared these off. Now, these are doweled. They have dowel pins, I don't know, dowel pins, I guess, that help keep them aligned. I believe they also kind of press fit onto this ball, the outline of the ball. So anyway, they are attached. They are located onto the truck with more than just these fasteners. So JoJo also sent me the castle nuts. I really appreciate him getting everything that I need. That's very important to have all the stuff. So that way we can get in this job, get back out of this job. Alright, so the next thing on the list is, I know I have a bad upper ball joint. So I also bought these upper ball joint kits from JoJo. So I gotta point out that everything here is on that receipt. Everything you need to do upper and lower ball joints. This comes with a hairpin, not a hairpin clip. Comes with a cotter pin and castle nut. So this comes with the boots, the ball joint, everything you need. OEM. They are only $43 a piece. Like I said before, go find JoJo. Go find JoJo on the 3rd Gen 4Runner page or the 1st Gen Tacoma page. Save yourself some money. Get high quality OEM parts, only the best. And if you take any study of upper lower ball joint failures on the fronts of these trucks, high quality parts might save your life. And the cost of these parts is way less than one hospital trip. So So the next thing on the list, these came off of eBay. They're boxed. The outer box says Race Car Dynamics. Don't open these yet. I'm not ready for the shocks. So these are Bilstines 5100s, I believe. RCD has their sticker on these. And these, I believe, are the 3. They come with the 3 rings. So I think you have... I think the top ring, the ring of... or the bottom ring, I don't know. The one with the most compression is going to be the 2-inch lift. Alright, boys. You can't play with the parts. So... I was going to help compensate for the heavy bull bar. This bull bar is extremely heavy. I don't know what it's supposed to go on to. I ended up building custom mounts for it. And I believe the winch is a 13,500 pound steel cabled winch. So this front end weighs a lot. I tried to buy aftermarket Parts Plus, I believe, front shocks for it last year, and they still sag. The whole truck still sags. So I wanted to try the 2001 4Runner front coil springs because I have a 2001 4Runner, and the coils are larger and there's less coils, which should result in a stiffer ride, which I really like the stiff ride. I do not enjoy what's the word I want? I don't enjoy the saggy, baggy feeling of washing around corners. I like nice, steady, stiff suspension where I can feel exactly what the road's trying to tell me when I take turns and corners and hills and so forth. So, what I'm thinking about doing, I did not order the coils yet, but what we could do is just stick the ones, just take the coils off of the new shock, stick them on the Bilstein. So anyway, guys, let's get to work. And I think we're going to have to mount the upper ball joints out of the upper control arm. I can pickle fork the stem out, so that should be good. So we're going to get to work on one of these sides and let you guys know what happens next. Okay, guys, pickle fork and tool for the win. Got the first one apart. I had been shooting this one up with the grease. So I kind of had the boot down on there like that, and then just try to poke it in behind there and fill it up. Yeah, I have had this apart. I redone the whole front suspension just like 2 years ago. Yeah, everything, all new bushings and bolts and stuff, so they could do the alignment again. So here we go. Oh, I did forget I have a 2-inch lift shock spacer up there, trying to keep my front end high, but still, just the culmination of the abuse, the weight, the driving on rough roads, and just smashing it around. I think the shocks just die every time, just because of everything combined. And yeah, rust. Lots of rust. Oh, and a patch. Kind of proud of this patch I did. Pretty good. Anyway. Okay, guys, we got it. So we got all the nuts torqued down. I have my Hayes manual, and it actually has some of the torques in. I mistakenly tried to do 105 pounds on this one, and don't do it. It won't work. I think I probably stripped the nut. So, other than that, I have my spacer on top of the shock, so I have an almost equal on alignment at the bottom. So yeah, I'm having trouble with that. So I probably should have done this bolt before the upper ball joint, because everything seemed to move freely. You do get binding on the tie rod too, so probably do the Bilstein and then the top one, and then because you can always just jack the lower ball joint up until everything comes in alignment. So Anyway, guys, that's what we're fighting with. We might have to remove the upper ball joint. Hopefully not. I'm scared that the threads are stripped there on the nut. So, anyway, I'm going to call it a night. See you tomorrow. Anyway, guys, welcome back to the show. So, today, just got done putting the last side together. Ready to drop the jack down, see what we got. So, one thing I noticed, maybe stand back and enjoy our work for a moment. So one thing I noticed is the chrome rod inside the Bilstines are exposed. I tried to fit the dust cover from the other shocks that I just bought new last summer from AutoZone, and they didn't work, or Parts Plus. CarQuest, that's what it was. So I got everything back in, and hopefully I was pretty rough on this CV. I was pretty rough on both. I might have got the balls to fall out, but hopefully not. So anyway, both wheels are attached to each other still, so maybe there's one ball fell out. Probably not more than that. So anyway, let's set you guys up here and we drop this truck down off the jack and see what a ride height is. I'm sure the ride height will be higher than I expect. Oh, sorry. That's a lot of preload, man. Well, that's nice and high. So we have a 2-inch lift spacer as well as a 2-inch lift shock, all riding on the stock coils. So, looks like the upper arm's got a little droop in it. The coil is almost coil bound, which is fantastic, but this really brings the front end up. Wow. The CVs are even pointed downhill some. So, yeah, that's not good for the CVs, but we don't typically... I see even the bushings and the Bilstines are much better quality, harder rubber than the... They are deforming somewhat, but... I mean... Thinking Bilstein, they ought to know some things about carrying weight. So that'll pretty much level my truck out again. Wow, that is really high. I kind of hope that comes down a little. If need be, we can always trying to decide, but we could take the spacer out. Not sure how. I'd assume you'd take the wheel off and then take the lower shock bolt out and drop the shock out and then take the cap off and put it back in. That might work. It's always misaligned by about this much on the bottom, and that's probably thanks to adding that much on the top. So I don't really know. I've always just had the spacer on top. So if I do end up getting the 2001 4Runner coils, coil springs, that would change the dynamics of everything all over again. So I might even need an alignment. This is pretty drastic. But I think if you look along the body lines of the truck, it's now pretty close to level. The funny thing is now my bed's downhill. But I can always take the 6x6 blocks out and give them a little bit of a shave, with a Sawzall or whatever. I cut them with the chainsaw before, so obviously they're all over the place, but no, they've never broken or given me any hassle. That's good. So we got a tremendous amount of gap. We could almost run 33s now, but I'm not interested in running 33s. This already has the lowest rear end ratio that these trucks could have, I think. They specifically gave this 8.4-inch rear end to these 4-cylinder trucks in order to shove a bigger differential ring and pinion in there to get lower gearing and help that 4-cylinder along. So as far as I know, we're already at the theoretical gearing limit, unless there was some other ring and pinions offered. I think this is the 355. I'd have to go back and really look, but I believe 355 was on the ring and pinion last summer when I had it apart. So And the reason I had it apart was to replace the rear diff cover, which was already patched and leaking. So, and already patched and leaking, and we had a wheel bearing or an axle bearing go, which made the seal go, which made the axle leak. So, yeah, I mean, after a while, I finally got into it, and we took the rear axle out, fixed all of that stuff. New U-bolts, and then we moved up front, and we did front suspension bushings and all that stuff, and made the front end work again. I tried to rebuild the rack, and then it just leaked like nobody's business, and didn't turn out so well. So these are Bilstines off of eBay from RCD, Race Car Dynamics. So I don't know what RCD's got to do with it really, but that's what's on the box. So, and also on the shock. So it's not just a reseller, I don't think, or a what you call them, the whole retailer. So anyway, guys, this is what I got out. These are the lower ball joints from the old Rock Auto. Gotta be honest, I mean, so this guy here is, wow, that's really seized. Oh, it doesn't move. Oh, that, I don't think that's got any play in it, but she's stiff. Where'd the other one go? Anyway, here's the plastic bushing thing that's set inside of here. Whatever that was. So I just ground the top down. I actually cut a slot in the side and then broke that off, and I knocked the ball out, and then I ground everything flat until I could get the ground down to here and got this guy out. That was on the passenger side. Here's a passenger side boot. The driver's side U-joint or ball joint looked like this. So I cut it. Probably could have just beat it out of there if I had done this trick here. Just grind it down and send it. What else was there? There was another. I thought I might have thrown it away. So, oh wait, this is the driver's side. Okay, here's a passenger side one. Got a good amount of rust stuck all over it. And then there's a grease nipple. But I think it was pushing grease out of here. See the little grease bubble right there. I think this one had some. Yeah, this one's starting to get some play in it. And binding. So they were ready to kill me, both of them. So kind of felt that in my bones toward the end of the welding time I was welding. So yeah, I made a point to had to come home till the baby was born, so I had to stop welding at that point. I guess I could have just kept welding, but out of consideration for the better 3/4. So yeah, so I stopped welding, came back home, and now I got that fixed. So that was good. So the next thing we got to do is grow a little bit so we can reach in the engine bay again, and then work on the intake stuff. So. Hey, the Tacoma's alive. Doesn't run too well, but it's alive. Hey everyone, welcome back to the video. It's been over the weekend, and I have finished the suspension work on the Tacoma, and I want to show you guys around it a little bit and see. I drove it around the yard, and specifically through the road ditch to really bottom the suspension out and get it flexed. I don't know if that's important or not, but I wanted it to move around a good bit and see if it's settled, see where we settle in. Anyway, so let's go and show you guys. All right, so we did put some fuel in the tank, and not a whole lot actually, but it does run. It runs terrible. I was actually surprised that it idled right down. It used to always idle at 500. It idled down to maybe 750 or so. But as soon as you go on the throttle, it wants to stall out and die. So, you know, there's something is the matter with it. But, so no, I think the suspension did settle in. I think the whole truck is level now, the way it's supposed to be. However, the bed is actually tipped downhill toward the rear a little bit due to, I think I just made the blocks in the front a little tall. Not intentionally, but so I could cut them down if I wanted to. I don't really want to. It's actually a lot easier to load the way it is. It was always pretty annoying because I'd have to try and find the front tires somewhere to sit. I did a little bit of roadie deliveries for Tractor Supply. Does roadie in our area, so that was annoying because it's really high to get a zero turn down off of it, especially a brand new one. So I felt very unprofessional with this truck, even though it's reliable and fuel efficient, so that helps. So I don't know, we're on a grade. It is uphill here, so also the camber magically fixed itself, so I don't know. I thought in the shop it looked downhill still toward the front, but I think now we're talking turkey at least. So what we could do is take a look underneath really quick and then fire the truck and turn the wheels straight. Take one last look at the camber. Oh yeah, I mean my boots are rooted, there's no doubt about that. Those were, so if you go back to the videos where we rebuilt the front suspension and put in new bolts and stuff, at that point I rebooted these with Napa boots. So new ball joints, upper lower, unless we have a control arm failure, or I've seen the shocks go up through these shock buckets actually, so hopefully we don't have that happen. Anyway, there's a rust patch I did, I'm very proud of. Nice and tight. Yes, that is spray foam, but you kind of get what you get in New York State. Kind of like this. No longer a battery box. So anyway, let's fire the truck and turn the wheels straight. And then we can take a look at the camber. Start it up. Start up. Okay, I think we're straight. There, shut her off. Okay, that's pretty straight. Whoa, that stinks. You can tell it's just dumping fuel at it. If you hate this bull bar, I also hate it. So, camera wise, the wheels aren't quite straight. They might be tucked in a whisker at the top. We can see the, so usually if your upper control arms aren't tipped downhill too much, see these are almost straight parallel, straight out. So that's good. And our tires aren't tapping the, we have tons of lower arm adjustment by the way, so yeah, all that's good. I'm pretty happy with that. I want my truck to be safe and not have terrible front suspension. Also wanted to run right. So we have these lights to fix. These are cheap garbage lights and they're not. So I did get some yellow pods for my snowmobile. I'm thinking about doing that for this. And this truck has reasonably good lights. It's just sometimes at night or among other LED headlight traffic, it's not as nice. So I got that and the mud flaps to deal with. So time to get plates on this thing again. It'd be pretty cool to take these bumper, the bar, and move it. Make it go out and down. Just like Sean Wales' 80 series Land Cruiser. Look it up. I really like his bumper, and mine is almost the same. I just have to move some stuff around. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this series. And we're going to get straight into making the engine run right. And maybe, if good fortune persists, we'll have this on the road by the end of the week. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.